The old man's gravelly overacting is the best part of this film, and it continues as he explains the tale of Camp Blood.
You don't listen too good, do you, boy? You and your friends don't want to go to Camp Blood.
Jesus. You know, call it whatever you want, okay? But we're not about to be scared by some old ghost story.
I'm not talking about a ghost here, boy.
No, what you're talking about is far lamer.
I'm talking about a man. A real man.
So a grown-up Pinocchio, then.
Whatever, Pops, okay? We've got a guide waiting for us.
Ah, that's good. Ha! A kite! He's even more ignorant than you are. You go into those woods, you'll never make it out alive.
I've been there.
Anyway, eventually the old man cracks and gives the 4 directions to Camp Blood, but not before leaving them with this final ominous line.
And say hello to the clown for me!
Well, that's a different reaction.
With that encounter over, the 4 arrive at the infamous Camp Blood.
You don't listen too good, do you, boy? You and your friends don't want to go to Camp Blood.
This is Old Man Radio, blasted out 24/7. Coming up next, you don't want to go to Camp Blood.
I love her expression in this scene as well.
You don't listen too good, do you, boy?
I'm a girl.
Do you guys think there's any truth to that story?
What are you talking about?
About the one that Thatcher told us. About the camp being haunted? The clown.
What?
That's what he said as we were driving away.
Allow me to mock him by playing a woman's voice over that clip.
Say hello to the clown for me.
I didn't hear him say that.
Neither did I.
Replied, you idiot!
And say hello to the clown for me!
Anyway, having discussed it for some time, the group comes to the conclusion that the old man probably just made up the story about the clown to scare them away. And with that sorted, the group then proceed into Camp Blood via one Star Wars edit. However, the group have still not received any more contact from their guide.
Ah, that's good. Ha! A kite!
So having gone deeper into the woods without waiting for the guide, thereby making it harder for the guide to find them, the 4 eventually find a nice spot to sit down for a bit. Then it appears that Steve pets Trisha like a dog, which is rather odd, before the Snuffleupagus returns in order to split our group up. Jay and Nicole continue to be irritating while Steve and Trisha go to investigate the noise. They spot another person roaming around in the woods, someone whose face is conveniently hidden at all times.
Steve.
Sometimes just by the camera framing. However, because Steve only sees what the camera sees, he decides to go out and ambush them. Someone who
Absolutely certain will be the clown, and not a fake out at all. No siree.
But no, it turns out to be their rather pissed off guide called Harris.
So I'm sure is a well qualified and competent guide.
I'm Harris.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going? I was just on my way back up to the parking lot. I wanted to get a feel for the place, you know? It's been a long time since I've been out here.
Being the case, I only really have one question. Why did you offer to guide people round it?
Although that's not the only thing that seems off about this whole situation, as we'll see when they go back to talk to Jay and Nicole.
Who's this?
I'm Harris.
You're Harris?
Yeah, I'm your guide. We talked on the phone.
Yeah, we talked on the phone. You know what?
been here for-
I don't want to hear your excuses, okay? Frankly, if I'd have known it was going to be a woman, I'd have gone with somebody else. Yeah, we talked on the phone.
Well then, how did you not notice that she was a woman? And was she advertising herself as a guide, or did you just bring random people until one of them agreed?
Anyway, having already berated Harris for being late, Jay's comment about not wanting a female guide causes Harris to flip out.
Listen, pal. I've been doing this for years, and it's part of my job to know the terrain. Now, I said I was sorry for being late, but I'm not going to say it again. And if you got a problem with me being your guide, just say so. I'll leave and you can find your own way out of here. Or else maybe you can go home, back to your little domestic world of cell phones and satellite dishes, which is where the fuck you belong.
Whoa. You leave our satellite dishes out of this.
But in the meantime, I'm not going to take any more of your shit. Got it?
So having asserted her authority over Jay, the others decide that they want her as their guide. At which point she takes them to a site where they can pitch their tent. Fortunately, they can edit their way most of the way again. Eventually the group decide to take a break, at which point Tricia decides to ask Harris whether she knows anything about the clown. However, Harris says no.
Possibly because she's the worst guide ever!
Eventually the group arrive at a place which meets with Harris's approval to become their campsite. But what should Steve discover when they get there?
Cool, babe, check it out. A rope swing.
No, come on.
What? What's wrong with having a little fun?
You're
Take the bag.
nuts. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, to survive that, you'd have to be some kind of sorcerer or something.
But of course, watching a man play on a swing is so much fun that it's actually kind of a disappointment when the film remembers that it's supposed to be a horror movie, and after another swirly shot shows someone in a cheap clown mask running around in random directions. It doesn't really add anything and couldn't even be happening at the moment anyway. The tension is then, of course, ratcheted up another notch with the brilliant Jay and Nicole scene, in which Jay runs away from behind her back. And then it's revealed that Nicole is almost too stupid to get past a log. All it leads to is Jay jumping out and getting a smack in the face, which is what I give this movie for keeping this scene in. It even takes her brain a few seconds to work out that she actually done that. Actually, just so I don't get accused of misrepresenting Camp Blood or something, it does actually turn out that Harris is watching them make out. Not that this leads to anything or anything. So anyway, back at the campsite.
Sure is.
I see you've played knifey spoony before.
After which Jay and Nicole arrive back at the camp. And Jay attempts to explain to Steve what happened with Harris.
So Steve seems pretty underwhelmed.
Nicole and I were making out. Harris pops out of nowhere. Turned out she was watching us.
Are you serious?
Yeah, sorry they had to wake you up to act that morning, Steve.
Yeah, she was hiding in the bushes, getting off on it. I think she's got the hots for Nicole. I'm telling you, man, she's a freak.
Are you serious?
Anyway, eventually night falls, and we cut to our group sat around a roaring campfire. At first they don't seem to be up to much until Steve says this.
There's something really important that we're forgetting right now.
Yeah, what's that?
Ghost stories.
Yeah, according to my list of cliches, that is the only one they haven't done yet.
At first they skim over normal urban legends such as Bloody Mary or the escaped mental patient, until Harris pipes up with this.
About the clown.
What?
You heard the one about the clown, haven't you?
You mean that story that crazy old guy was telling us?
Story of how this place came to be called Camp Blood.
Camp Blood, when I asked you about that earlier, you said you hadn't even heard of it before.
Shh. Don't point out the plot holes, that's my job.
It was a beautiful, sunny day. Stanley Cunningham had just gotten off a hard day's work. It was his last day of work, as a matter of fact.
So he was only no days from retirement.
Wouldn't this be better with some kind of narration over the top, as if we were listening to an actual ghost story? Or did they try that and this was somehow considered to be actually better? Either way, here's the highlights. I find your lack of acting disturbing. Well, at least they remembered that the sign shouldn't read Camp Blood at the moment. Well, at least it's a good effect, otherwise it'd just be absolutely ridiculous to keep holding on it. At any rate, with that gripping tale out of the way, the original four head to their tents, whilst Harris sleeps outside.
Of course not.
Next 5 minutes, just the two couples getting ready to have sex, or discussing whether the clown exists or not, while some confusing editing goes on outside.
Well, I'm pretty much going to skim over most of this part, because nothing really happens, although I did leave the rest of the film in.
However, something does actually happen when Tricia leaves the tent in the morning.
Calm down, lady. It's a pretty crappy effect, but come on.
Oh my god!
Fuck is all the Oh, Jesus! Oh, Jesus!
Sorry, I have to do some really realistic vomiting.
Anyway, the four of them crack up and become hysterical, and Nicole even goes completely into shock, making her functionless and obsolete. Well, it makes it quieter anyway.
The clown. It was the clown!